So right now, I feel weirdly kind of nostalgic. I've just finished my dissertation. I've got like a few final tweaks to do, and then I'm going to submit it. But for all intents and purposes, after like a couple of small uni submissions and then like revising for an exam in like 3 weeks, I'm basically done with university. And the fact that this lasted 3 years is kind of insane to me. And I just feel like, yeah, I don't know. Like, to be honest, I never really would say I super enjoyed uni that much. Like the whole kind of university experience of going out and clubbing and getting drunk and just being like lazy got very old very quickly after like 2 months into my first year. And then I kind of just realized like, oh, actually it's more fun like trying to build a YouTube channel. It's more fun like going on dates with new people or trying to like do new things outside of university. Um, and that's kind of how I spent the last 3 years. But even still, it just feels like strange that this chapter of my life is closing. I don't know if that's because I'm sort of going from, for all intents and purposes, like the last 20 years, having your kind of life somewhat planned out for you. Like, oh, you go to primary school, then you go to secondary school, then you go to university. And then typically, right, what happens after is you get a job, but I'm not doing that. I'm going to continue trying to build my business. And it's been great, and there's no doubt in my mind that I'll be fine. Like worst case scenario, I'll just come back a little bit home and try again. I've got nothing to lose, and it's it's been working whilst I've been at university, so that's fine. But I just think it's more so I'm completely on my own now in terms of being like out of the school system. And as much as I like disliked it for lots of different reasons, and I don't think I'd recommend university to people in general, I still feel quite nostalgic about it, thinking back to like in my first year, how I was going around like Borough Market and stuff, and filming my first few YouTube videos. And like to me, that's crazy because it doesn't feel like 2 years ago. So I think if anything, it's just shown me that time. Well, it's shown me a couple things really. A, like time is going to pass anyway. So if you've got anything that you want to do, and you want to do it enough to have it as a goal, then you should do everything you can to just do it now, right? Like Tim Ferriss has this great quote where, I think I've covered this before, but it's like the traffic lights of life never line up green all at the same time to work in your favour, right? They never all line up red to stop you, but there's always going to be a reason why not to do something. And you're always going to look back. You're never going to regret the things you tried, for the most part, but you're always going to regret the things you didn't try. And there's lots of things I want to do in the future, but I think this is just a reminder to me that like, oh, you can't just delay stuff because time is so fast. The second thing this kind of nostalgic feeling has reminded me of is that like you've got to do everything you can just to enjoy your life in the moment. Like oftentimes, look, lots of the things that are good for you long term, I feel like aren't that enjoyable in the moment. So things like, I don't know, working out or working at 8:45 on a Sunday night trying to finish your dissertation, like obviously 99% of the population would rather just sit on the sofa watching Netflix, eating a pizza. I mean, like, that kind of short-term is better, but obviously in the long term, that is gonna make your life suck. So the key is trying to find a way to find enjoyment and happiness in kind of everything you do in the day-to-day, even in the things that you don't massively want to do. And I think that makes a lot of like the healthy habits, if you like, feel a lot easier. So that's kind of the second thing. So the first thing is like, just do the things you want to do anyway. Don't put them off, especially when you're young, man. Like if you're young and you don't have a wife or a husband or whatever, you don't have 2 kids, you don't have a mortgage, and you've got like the supportive family where you could just say to them like, oh, hey, I tried this thing, it didn't work out, can I come back and live at home? And they say, yeah, then what have you've literally got nothing to lose, but everything to gain. And then the second thing is like, you just got to try and enjoy the journey, because the sooner you know it, you're going to blink and it's going to be over, just like university. And I don't think I've got any regrets from this time. I think this would be quite a useful future video maybe if I feel like that way. But if I'm just thinking about like my time at uni, I've not got any regrets. I did everything I wanted to do, like even small little things that I didn't think were that significant. I did, like I tried going to like a hip hop dance class. It wasn't really for me, to be honest. I joined the Entrepreneur Society. I tried to like be as involved in my course as I could. Didn't really like it by the end. And ultimately, like I'm just trying to do the actual degree and the work to the best of my ability and the best I can. So I've got absolutely no regrets about university. I just think there's a bit of like a clash between the kind of person who I am and want to continue to be and improve on, and like the kind of environment that university, in particular my course, was putting me in, right? And I guess just to end on that note of like, because what I'm going to do after university is a weird thing. I'm not even really, I don't even think I've really touched on it that much in my journal, but I've just learned from this whole uni experience how much your environment shapes the person you are, right? Like if you want to, it's a bit like that James Clear quote where he says like, oh, you don't fall to the level of your goals, you rise to the level of your systems, or something like that. And in this scenario, it's like you don't rise to the level of your goals and aspirations, but you rise to the level of the people that you surround yourself with. But more than that, like the environment that you put yourself in. And it kind of makes sense, right? Like if you want to lose weight and get in shape, do you think that's going to be achieved faster and easier if you're like, you know, if you just have a job where you can work at home, you don't need to go out, you live next to a pizza shop, or, you know, if you move to somewhere near a gym and you actively try and make an effort to be somewhere warm where you can get outside and you can get your steps in, things like that. So all of that is to say, like, I think leaving the university environment will be good for me, even though it's a bit scary and it feels nostalgic, and I'm thinking like, oh, well, maybe it'd be nice to do the whole thing again. But like, I don't think I would, to be honest. I don't think I would repeat university again, because I think I've got out of it what I was going to get out of it, and we're now at like the point of diminishing returns. So next, I just want to kind of continue to push myself. I had this plan that might, you know, not necessarily transpire anymore, but that's fine. I'm still personally going to travel to, certainly over the next part of 2026, I want to travel to different places in the world and, you know, digital nomad it up. I'm not entirely sure where these places would be. I'd love to go back to Italy in the summer, and then Australia by the end of the year. I think would be awesome. I think I want to really like it there. But right now I'm feeling a bit like unsure about how I'm going to keep filming. I'm going to pack everything up, and like what I'm going to do with the business. But I'm confident I'll figure it out. And it's just like, I think a lot of it as well is a bit of that nostalgic fear, not fear, but you know what nostalgia is like. It's a bit like sadness mixed with happiness. Yeah, and that feeling now that university is beginning to end. But yeah, I think the main points are you've just got to do everything you want to do whilst you still can. Try and be as happy as you can be in the moment, and that your environment is the biggest factor in terms of like the person that you are, and if you achieve your goals. Just got to keep going, I guess.